Hi everyone, I'm Wesley from Unaufadox Productions and welcome to episode 25 of Creating Bass Loops Live, the live stream where I create wonderful and amazing bass guitar loops for you wonderful music producing producers. So in this video, I'm going to speak a little bit about my bass lines, then I'm going to move a bit closer to the mic, then I'm going to create a bass line and you'll see me, so maybe I'll record little chunks and you'll see the idea developing. Then I will get into recording that bass line. Then you'll see me upload it to the website, at which point you'll be able to use the QR code beneath me on the screen and you'll be able to buy that bass line. So let me just check the screen before we get rolling. Awesome. So we are live. Cool. Okay, so I decided to create 10-minute bass guitar loops because, so when I was first using loops back in the day, I found them a bit limiting. They weren't dynamic enough. So say I'd have a 16-bar loop or an 8-bar loop or a 4-bar loop. And, you know, that was cool for verse 1 and maybe cool for the chorus, but verse 2, I'd like a bit of a change. And these loops never provided that for me. So years and years later, I got into a position where I could remedy that situation. So I decided to create 10-minute bass guitar loops. And ultimately, it's to give you variety. So I'll record for 10 minutes. I'll think of a simple groove. Then I'll add variation after variation after variation over the course of 10 minutes. Or in this project, 254, around that 254 bars. So one moment, just checking that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, 254 bars. So you can just imagine, so let's say you have the simple groove and then you feel like you want to change a few bars. Let me show you on the screen. You'll have this whole area here to go through and find variations. And just briefly, so I'll be following a chord progression today. And what that means is I move through a set of chords in a given key signature. Today is G major. And, you know, it repeats. So let's say I do something simple here, something with a slight variation here, another variation, and then all the way along. And then at some point I begin to play a bit more like a solo performance, a more melodic performance, and then you'll be able to go through all of this and then chop and change and edit and move and then create something which might be unrecognizable to the patterns which I played on this live stream. Cool. So that's the length of these loops. Another exclusivity factor is when you buy these loops, the first person to buy this loop will trigger a 24-hour timer. After that timer completes, I remove it from my website so no one else can buy it. I also delete this live stream and then any other social media clips that I've used this bassline in, that gets deleted as well. So from my side at least, there's no record of this bassline existing. So it could just be on your hard drive. So you could be the only person on planet Earth with this bassline. That's a very real potential reality. And then also, so within 48 hours of this live stream, I will then upload another 2 versions. So the first version that you'll already see is the raw recorded version, and it will also be processed. So I've got a compressor, an EQ, and then an EQ on this bassline tonight. So then, yeah, after this 48-hour period, well, within this 48-hour period, I will go through the recording and just check that it's where I want it to be in terms of timing and expression and all of that kind of thing. And then I will upload an edited version. And then just in case you don't like this processing, I'll remove the processing and then upload that version as well. Because, yeah, this track that I'm going to be recording to tonight, it might not be what you want on your project. This track is in G major, and it's following a 1 3 4 5 chord progression. But you know, and it's just piano. It's quite a warm sounding piano. I left like quite a lot of low mids in it because it just made it sound nice. You can get more information on that whole process in a tier on Patreon called the creative workshop. In that video I go through all of the mixing and balancing, and you know, I create a few bass lines as well in there, just to because each video I have to change the key and I have to change the tempo. The chord progression stays the same in so I've got 3 videos, and in each of those 3 videos the chord progression stays the same. But you can imagine, let's say one week the chord progression is in A, right? So it's in A. It's in A, right? But then the next week's chord progression is in E. So that means that I've gone down in on the piano. So then the chords have also gone down, and the further down I go, the closer to my bass frequencies I get. So I have to remedy that situation, and that's all within that video. So if you're interested in that kind of process, definitely check that out. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, 3 files in total you'll be downloading, audio files. You'll also download within this package the MIDI for this. So as you hear this, so you hear the way the piano is playing, the way it's working through this chord progression, this 1 4 5 chord progression. You also get the MIDI of that. So let's just say you scan the QR code and you purchase it, then within that package you'll get the MIDI, and then you could drag and drop that MIDI into your project, add a piano or add a synth, and then you'll have this same progression that I'm working with tonight. Also within that package you get a companion PDF which goes through some of the chords that I'm using, and it's just a little bit of my thought process and also my processing process. So you get some insight into my plugins here, and why I might use a certain plugin, and just, you know, how I was feeling about the bass line on the night like tonight. Cool. I think that covers it for the bass loops. Yeah, that covers it for the bass loops. Cool. All right. Well, then let's move into the creating bass portion of the video. So what we've got going on here is a track in G major, and it's following a 1 4 5 chord progression, and that just basically means that, just so that you can follow along, it basically means that you can every time you see this 1, it's a G major. Whenever you see this 4, it's a C major, and this 5, it is a D major, and then it's just that repeated, like all along the track. It's just that repeated, that same pattern. Just put this up. Oh, and if you're interested in more information about the chord progression and, you know, how the chords are built, then I also have another video series on my Patreon account called Inside the Session, and that takes you through in more depth more of the music theory, musically theoretical side of things. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then definitely check that out. One moment, I think I'm tangled up here. Both of these videos that I mentioned, so the creative workshop and the inside the session video series. It's before each session, so it's a process that I have to do before each session. And so I just put the mic on and put the camera on and speak a little bit about the process that I'm going through. So I go live every Wednesday at 8:30 British Standard Time. So I need these 2 videos each week. So in the space of a month, it's like, around 4 a month, and each of them accompany what's then going to come out on the Wednesday. So if you're interested in a little bit of behind the scenes of this process, then definitely check that out. Unaufadox Productions on Patreon. Cool. All right. So let's get into the creative portion of the video. So what I will do first is I will have a listen and then gradually compose a bass line. I may start hitting record at some point, just it's like taking a note of the bass line, because I like to talk, and sometimes I'll have an idea, a bass line idea, but then go off on a tangent and start talking and then forget the bass line. So So I record a, so if you follow me on social media, then you'll know that I record a video where I'm testing the levels for this. And so this is a part of the inside the session video. So I'll do the inside the session video, then right at the end of it, I, stop and then, hi everyone, I'm Westy from Unaufadox Productions, and in this short video, and then off I go. And then I check the levels as well on YouTube, all live on that video, because the streaming software I use, I can stream, stop streaming, go to YouTube, check the stream, come back, start streaming again. And, so it's all within the same video. So yeah, I'll have to, check the levels. I have to create a bass line, do like a recording. And I was really feeling sustained notes. So by sustained, I just mean notes that I hold. Turn it up a bit. So with drums and bass, in particular the kick drum, right? it's a good idea to follow the kick pattern, because they say, the kick drum is an extension of the bass. The bass is an extension of the kick drum. The bass is an extension of the kick drum. You get the hit that hits you in your chest, like a good kick, and then the bass continues on, so you get the full experience. So it will. I seem to fall into the piano, more of the piano. So the kick is happening on the piano, like bum bum. Like there is a kick there. Let's see if I can. so I like going with the. I just need a bit more level on my bass. I do like going with the drums, but not necessarily that pattern. And let me drop in record as well. So yeah, the fundamental pattern is cool, like dun 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 dun. But after that, I feel like it needs more. I'll stay on record. Yeah, okay. Just creating a baseline. All right, so it's actually perfect. So these baselines here are the baselines that I was talking about earlier. So when I check my levels, those are the baselines. So in the very at the moment, the very top tier on Patreon, you get access to these baselines, and I release them weekly. So, and it's very much I want it to be very much a community input kind of vibe. So yeah, we'll get to the point where I'll throw it open to subscribers, and they will be like, oh yeah, that baseline that you colored yellow in episode 25, I want 16 bars of that, and then I'll put 16 bars of that into the library. So yeah, cool. I think I still remember the baseline. All right, cool. So I'm going to get going with that. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that, actually. So in the... Oh, so I switch this off now. So in the... what video was it? Inside the session? No, it was in the creative workshop video. So I had to adjust the chords, right? So was it. So I had to adjust the chords, and there was a moment where I couldn't, and this often happens when, like, if you're a creative person, if you're, you know, an artist in any other form really, there's a moment where, so you have the initial idea, but then to take it to another level or the next step, it's blank, and you can't see, like, in the current reality that you occupy, you can't see this thing finishing. You don't know. You don't have the solution, and so you're kind of in the weeds a little bit, and yeah, you just don't know. And yeah, that kind of happened, and I can't remember if it was eased by changing the tempo or not. But when I changed the tempo, because it was fast, it was like 100 BPM, 105. And when I composed this, I composed it around 95, 98 BPM. So 105, it's pushing it. It's a bit fast for this mood, like this mood. Like it for me, it's like a soulful, mellow vibe. So if you push that too fast, you go out of that emotional region, if you like. But when I slowed it back down to 98, it instantly, 98 BPM, it instantly came together in terms of the emotional comforting, if you like. And with that comfort came vision, if you like. Although when I'm playing, I mean, other than what I did, other than what I did there, like this fundamental dum, like following the drums, dum 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 dum, there was no real vision. I just knew that that's enough for me to play around. Like so yeah, we have these kind of notes, but then yeah, so I went to the higher strings, same notes, just higher strings, like the next octave above. I'm listening to it. Yeah, I knew that would be enough. Yeah, and just because you know, I've been playing bass a while, so I have some idea of the fretboard and my options. So I'll think of this, like dum dum dum. I'll have that, and then just basically rely on my ability to think of something cool in the moment, or not even think really, just have the inspiration flow through me. But yeah, it was nice when, so, you know, I was in the weeds, and then, you know, the solution began to present itself, and then I got into that soulful vibe, and then I feel like I brought that here at the top. I was saying, yeah, I like the idea of sustained notes, which I did use, even though they was dum 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 dum, and then more sustained. Just like I incorporated the rhythmic structure of the drums within the sustained pattern. And later on, well, around I'm sure there was a moment where I was just like dum 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 dum, like really long sustained notes, because at some point, and I like to add this in my live streams, in my bass loops, I like to add what might be considered, let me change camera actually, I like to add what might be considered a chorus kind of vibe. So in fact, I have to go back. So you could say that this, maybe here. Maybe you could say that's more of a verse kind of vibe. And then when I'm just like dum 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 and just holding, that could be considered a chorus kind of vibe. And yeah, I like to add that flexibility into the bass lines as well. Even though the amount of variations I add, especially with the changing of strings as well, like that would be plenty, I feel. But yeah, that chorus and verse variation I think is particularly powerful, man, because yeah, in a track you might really want that switch. So, you know, like a verse which is more like, in my mind it's like bitty. What I mean is like more staccato notes, like those kind of runs. Yeah, so like all of that in your verse, but then yeah, your chorus more stretched out. Maybe there's a singer and she's also using more sustained notes in her voice, or maybe his voice. When I think of singers, I think of like the female tone. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's export this. Okay, so there's a little pop at the beginning there, so I'll just take care of that now. Cool. And just bring the level down. So I like to export at 9.9, minus 9.9. Yeah, cool. So let me bounce this. So this is unedited but processed. So the file name is episode 25, G major, 98 BPM, unedited, processed. So within 48 hours, I will edit this and then upload another version called the same but edited, processed. Then I'll also upload another version which is edited, unprocessed. So 3 audio files in total for you to download and edit and chop and make into something uniquely your own and amazing. So that's bounced, right? So let's go to the site, upload a file. And there's the file I just bounced. So I'm going to upload that. Take a minute. It's 160 megabytes because it's a WAV. It's 24-bit and it's 44.1 kilohertz. So 44,100 times per second. The equipment was sampling my bass tone. It's what that stands for, the sampling rate. I think eventually I may start exploring higher sampling rates as I start exploring different tones, different bits of equipment to run the bass through before you lovely music producers get it. Cool, so I'll save that. Make it loud again. Yeah, all questions are welcome. Reach out to me if you have any questions on anything that I've said. I do recommend if you're a fan of music, interested in the process, or a music producer, I do recommend the creative workshop tier, because that is that kind of information, you know, the chords, and you'll see me record a bass and I talk a bit about that process. If you are a music producer, I recommend the Inside the Session because you get a lot of music theory information in that, which is, I think, is vital. It's like before I knew it, it wasn't vital, and I used to feel like I can get by, man. I make music and I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm doing, and that was true. That was true. However, when I learned the theory, it was just it's a different world. The world of music changes once you start learning theory, and then the more you learn, the more intentionally you get to express yourself, which is the main goal of what I do and what I provide in those videos, just so that you can express yourself more intentionally. So if you know, just for example, on the screen here, if you know that a G major tone chord sounds like it does, and you kind of you know it like within your heart, in your body kind of thing, and then you know that how it sounds when a G major goes to a B minor or to a C major or D major, then you're going to be able to use those colors. But if you don't even know how to identify those, then it's just not as potent. And yeah, you can know a chord without knowing the name. And I was producing before, and I'd know sounds and the way they made me feel. But once I started learning, the names, and then because once you know the names, you begin to know what might be a good combination, like this chord progression, a 1-4-5, and then so it's like, well, what's in a 1-4-5? It's like, well, it can be in G major. It's a G major, then it's a C major, then it's a D major. So it's a very major sounding chord. Like it's not sad sounding, even though it sounds a bit soulful in this. I must say, the way I've voiced the chords, I've got it to sound like that. But even with that, voicing the chords, what is that? That kind of stuff is inside the session. Cool. So yeah, save changes. So that is live now. I'll just quickly preview it just to show you what you'll see. So yeah, you'll see this. You'll scan the QR code and it'll take you to this. Within 48 hours, this will turn into, so this will be an image, but then you'll have arrows either side, and then so the first arrow will take you to like a 1:30 sample of it, and then if you press it again, it will take you to the full 10-minute loop as you saw me play it. But what you'll hear is the edited, so you'll still see me playing like you saw me tonight, but it will be the edited version, the product. That's what you'll hear. This recording as you know it within 48 hours will no longer exist. I'll change the video on YouTube and Patreon. So whenever you hear this after 48 hours, it's the product. So you can make a decision if you want it based on that. Cool, that's it, man. Thank you for joining me. I do this every Wednesday, 8:30 BST. Create a baseline just like this, make it available just like this. Yeah, man. Until next time, make great music and enjoy life. And I'll just play this and then I'll end the stream.